You may not be familiar with FedNow, but it is a significant upgrade to the United States banking system. The service enables near instantaneous transfers between banks 24 hours a day and 365 days a year. FedNow has been designed to replace the old automated clearinghouse system, which has longer processing times and is not available on weekends and holidays. The service charges institutions 4.3 cents per transaction, and it's already been adopted by well over 1,000 U.S. banks. This is a big deal because it is cheaper and more efficient than the current systems in place. This brings U.S. banks in line with many other global financial systems. FedNow officially launched in July of 2023. Although adoption has been gradual, it still has not gotten much recognition from U.S. consumers. Banks need to build the necessary infrastructure to interface with the system. Many of the existing systems to transfer money are already very profitable, so banks may be slow to adopt FedNow unless they face very strong customer demand or increased competition that forces them to act. Now, what does this mean for cryptocurrencies? Honestly, it's not looking great for crypto. One of the primary arguments in favor of cryptocurrencies: fast and low-cost transactions. Take the most popular version of Bitcoin, BTC. Its average transaction time is around 10 minutes if you pay enough of a transaction fee. That is, if you want to make it into the next block. However, that time is variable depending on the mining power and due to random chance. Transactions sometimes can take much longer, with an hour or more between blocks not being uncommon. Transaction fees with Bitcoin are also generally much higher than would be with FedNow. This doesn't even include the cost and time required to change Bitcoin into fiat currency so it can actually be used for purchases. On top of that, Bitcoin does not comply with anti-money laundering and know your customer laws. That's a pretty big drawback if you don't want to get in trouble with your bank or the IRS. But to be fair, the vast majority of Bitcoin transactions aren't even processed on-chain, at least not anymore. If Bitcoin was actually going to work well for transactions as a system, the majority of these transactions would never be switched to trading as paper transactions on centralized exchanges. And now that is even being overtaken by buying and selling Bitcoin as an ETF. Now, this is pretty ironic, seeing that a lot of people were pushing ETFs as legitimizing cryptocurrency, but in reality, it only shows that traditional finance systems work better. People prefer to trade using ETFs because transactions are faster and safer, which flies in the face of using cryptocurrencies to begin with, which was to make a financial system that would make traditional finance obsolete. Being saved by what you were meant to destroy is not a very good look. On-chain transaction volume has been consistently declining, and it has even been consistently running out of transactions due to low usage. So will this affect crypto prices? Personally, I don't think it will by much. The price of crypto has always been driven much more by speculation, illegal activity, and the belief that prices will keep going up rather than any kind of legitimate functional use case. If Bitcoin had to rely on a tangible value for its price, it probably would have crashed a long time before now. What do you think? Will FedNow pose an actual threat to crypto and Bitcoin? Or is this just going to be another reason to move the goalposts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm Frank with Servetty Software. and I'll see you in the next one.